There are people that don't know what they want, and that's how they operate their life. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. How do you measure happiness? How do you measure success? What do you want? Here's the last way. I want to earn $1 million of personal income. I want to weigh 170 pounds, 5% body fat. I want to close X amount of sales this year. You have to have the exact address in your mental GPS. You'll be amazed that people don't have clarity. One of my other mentors, T. Harv Eker, he wrote a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's a great book. And his whole philosophy is if whatever you see that you want, you better bless it. If I see someone with a great marriage, I'm blessing it.
All right, guys, welcome to The Collective, a podcast where we talk about real estate. We interview local entrepreneurs, and today's guest is someone who doesn't just talk about discipline, he lives it. He's a 7th degree black belt, a real estate investor, a triathlete, a best-selling author, and a co-founder of Empowered Mastery. He's the kind of guy who shows up for others with a mindset rooted in service and strategy, whether he's training elite performers, coaching business leaders, or giving back to kids in his community. Paul Melella has made a life out of mastering the balance between grit and grace. So let's dive in. Paul, you've spent over 2 decades studying peak performers, building businesses, and shaping lives. But when you look at your life today, what part of your journey are you most proud of, and why?
It's a great question. As of right now, the biggest thing I'm proud about is being able to have a wife that we're married 25 years, together 29. And I'm in this season of life where I'm truly blessed, where I'm about to produce 2 great human beings in society that will be hopefully good contributors to the world. That's my biggest accomplishment, being a successful husband and a successful dad.
It's amazing. So you talk about being a dad and a husband immediately. I just read off about 100 different things that would make anybody's resume killer. From the perspective of fatherhood and being a husband, how does that stack in your list of accomplishments? How has that shaped you to be the man, the coach that you are today for the business world?
A lot of people may not know this, but about 20 years ago, I didn't want to be a parent.
That didn't work.
You know, I had this paralyzing, in my book, I call these things called paralyzing paradigms, right? And most people will probably know that paradigms is a set of beliefs that define your current reality. Gina and I have been dating since 1996. She was only 19 when I started dating her. I already had a business. So in 1996, I opened up my first business. And on our first date, I basically came out. Imagine she's been 19 years old. I'm like, hey, we're going to go on this date downtown Manhattan, and it's going to be great. But I open up this business. This is my life, you know, and you're either all in or not. And it's okay. If you're not all in, you're not on this journey with me. Just imagine this first date. Otherwise, we could just have a great night and call it next steps. You know, it's cool. Well, she stayed. But I had this fear, man. I'm not going to lie. I had this fear of becoming a parent. I talked about some of this stuff with clients intimately, but I had this paradigm that having children would hold me back from achieving success in all areas of my life. That was my belief. I psychoanalyzed myself. I put a lot of work on my mindset to figure out what makes me tick, my driving force, right? Most young men and maybe women, ego is a driver in most cases. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to earn a lot of money. I wanted to help people. I opened up martial arts schools originally. I was completely passionate about that business, and I got a whole other backstory on why I opened up that business. That's separately, but you're asking this question. So I love my dad. He's awesome. When I think of dad, I think of my own man. I think of my mom. Great humans, but to be totally transparent, they were 2-dimensional. My dad was work, 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 kids, 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 family, family, family. My mom was like family, 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 take care of the home. 2-dimensional. They never exercised, took care of their health. And I love them. They put the kids first. They never contributed to their intimate relationship. And you fast forward, kids grow up. We'll always be parents forever, but kids grow up. And then they leave. And then you're left. You're like 20, 30 years later. Didn't we have a connection back then? And then it's too late because you're roommates. My dad, I love my dad, but he also chose not to be a business owner. He said, if I open up this electrical contracting business, I won't be here for you kids. That's a different paradigm. One of my dad's best friends was like, come on, Paul, let's open up a business together. My dad's like, I can't. Why, Paul? Why can't you? At the time, he had 3 kids, but then he turned it to 5, right? Because they had twins at the end. So 5, then 3 to 5 kids. And he's like, I can't. I got to stick to this union job because it's safe. So my dad's story is, if I open up a business, I won't be a good dad.
Got it. And that's the story you told yourself.
And then, when people are like, oh, are you and Gina newlyweds? We're like, no, we've been married for 5 years. We've been together for 8, 9. That's going to change when you have kids.
Yeah.
Wow, you two are really fit. You must train a lot. Yeah, it's every day is what we do. It's like breathing. You're not going to have time to exercise when you have kids. Mm-hmm. In the martial arts, I was Grandmaster Melella. Well, Grandmaster Melella, you're really good with kids. Wait till you have your own. Wow, your house is really neat and meticulous. It's going to change when we have kids. That one's kind of true. Like my son isn't the most clean kid. That's kind of true.
It depends on the kid, your focus as a parent at that time, and there's other big fish to fry. But for the most part, I think what you're saying is that those are stories that people have played out in their own life and passed down generationally. It just became reality for them. It's their reality.
It's their story.
Yeah.
So when I break patterns of behavior in people I coach, figure out, what do you want, right? And then let's figure out, what are your limiting beliefs? Let's analyze your thoughts, right, to see what's holding you back. I had to flip the script, man. So having children would hold me back to achieving success in all areas of my life. It's what drives me. What's your burn? My burning desire was to prove that I can be an entrepreneur. Not my dad's story. If I open a business, I can't be. No. I'm going to open up a business so I can have the flexibility and the opportunity to do all the things. So if you want to have a cake and eat it too, well, that's the dumbest metaphor ever, man. Wow. Not that I eat cake, but I eat cake. I'm going to have the cake, eat it. By the way, I want a double espresso with a shot of Sambuca, and I want your cake. So whose story is that? My whole driving force was to prove, I use this term, multi-dimensional success, man. Yeah. I'm proving to people that I'm going to have a successful business. I'm going to provide exceptional value in the marketplace, make a lot of money with integrity. I'm going to be fit. I want to be married to this queen of a woman and have a really great, intimate life, and sexually too, right? Because that's important. And I'm going to be a really good dad. And I'm going to leave a freaking awesome life legacy. Who's to say I can't do that?
You're the only one who can say you can do it.
It's my story. I'm writing it. Then shifting what kids meant, I had to shift that paradigm to having children is the driving force for us to achieve all our goals and our dreams in our life. The standard I live by isn't for my own ego anymore. Maybe at 21 years old it was. But the driving force is, I want to prove to my son what kind of man he needs to be. You could be a strong, masculine man, but be a loving, empathetic dad and treat your queen like a queen, gentle and caring, and love God. And you could choke dudes out if you need to. Yeah. If I need to, I can protect my kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm also going to be a respectful man. Right. I'm a Christian. To show my daughter what a man is. Mm-hmm. Okay. And and I know, and maybe I'll offend some people, that masculinity is being pushed down right now. So I want to prove to people you can be a strong man. But here's how I look at it. The Incredibles movie, the cartoon? Oh, yeah. There was Mr. Incredible and the Elastic Girl.
Oh, yeah.
They're 2 superheroes individually.
Very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And now they're a power couple. And then all of a sudden they got these 2 kids and they're praying like their kids got these superpowers. And now they're the Incredibles. Always had this vision. I want to be like this type of guy that's a great leader, inspirational, legendary leader. And now I got my queen. I got my elastic woman, right?
Yeah.
Power couple. We got 2 awesome kids, Kiana and Pierce. My whole mission is I want to be the incredible family.
And you are.
You know,
That's why you're here. And you're coaching. We're here to talk about the life of an entrepreneur in South Carolina and your business, my business, and like how we help people and our mindset, right? Because I think our mindset, that's why we became friends, because we understood each other's mindset from afar. We started talking, and then now we're trading podcasts. But it's just really interesting to hear that the first thing that you talk about is your wife and kids with such passion. I love that. And those are the type of people I want in my life to rub off on me and to mold and change me. We need to start talking about your business.
It is all
Yeah.
connected, because if something's weighing on me in my personal life, I can't sell, I can't inspire, I can't lead.
100%.
And it's the same thing in business. If things aren't being successful, because I know what that's like too, 5 years ago in 2020, when my empire got taken away from me in a blink of an eye. I take full responsibility of every result in my life. But that story, I can honestly say I had zero control over COVID in New York.
The worst spot.
Besides California, that could be a whole nother flip the script. I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now
Yeah.
if that didn't happen.
That brought you down here. So that was a blessing. And now your business is down here in South Carolina, thriving. You're working all over the nation, really. You work with entrepreneurs. You work with high-performing business folks. Tell us a little bit about your value as a coach, a business coach, a life coach. I like to call people like you business psychologists, because when I talk to my business coach, I feel like I'm getting on there and just venting like I would with a therapist. They're understanding my personal life, my history, my current situation. And then they're helping me identify key areas that I can change to then shift patterns and perform better at my job running a business. So what is the way that you intake what folks in the business world are experiencing and flip it into something valuable where they see ROI in your coaching?
That's a great question. And all those things that you had just described is exactly someone like me. And there's certain coaches that specialize in certain things. I'm dealing with high level performers, mainly maybe in the financial services arena. I got clients that are obviously business owners, but I target a lot of financial advisors. I just understand their world. But then they refer me to their clients. Mostly I work with business owners and entrepreneurs, people in the sales world, but we all got to sell. It all depends on the season of life that we're in.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to be 51. We're recording this. It's April 18th, and I'll be 51 in a month. May 19th is my birthday. I'll be 51. So I got clients now that are in their 20s coming into this business world. I'm talking to some guys that have been coached for 10 years that are in their 50s that are earning $2-3 million a year, and it depends where they are. So I dive into what is going on in their world, depending on the season. I'm not the coach that's going to define what success is. If you ask my old man, success was primarily family, but I don't know about you, Stephen. Like, I got people that I love my old man, family, but maybe health isn't a priority. I got people that are making a couple $1 million a year, but they're 40 pounds overweight, or maybe they're not connected to their spouse. They're not spending time with their kids. You're not successful. I'm a Christian. I got clients that have the Jewish faith, Christian faith, whatever you believe in. I don't care. You should have a higher power. I don't care how spiritual you are. You can't pay your bills. It's not success. You could be physically fit externally, but if inside you're not internally vital and healthy, and you're constantly getting sick, you can't provide your family.
Or you're morally bankrupt.
Or you're morally bankrupt.
So
yeah.
Our little tangent, but interesting point. You mentioned that your father, success to him was family, right?
That's it.
But that doesn't mean that success to you isn't family as well. It just means that you're doing more and you're telling yourself the story of what you want and you're just making it happen.
What do you want?
What do you want?
So what does Stephen define as success? A lot, and this is my humble opinion. When I ask this question, that's one of the first questions I ask people when I onboard
What do
them.
you want?
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Now, most people listening or watching this, they're going to ask themselves that question. Well, what do you want? You're probably a legend in your mind. I know for a hell damn sure I'm a legend in my mind. And it's not being overly arrogant. It's just being confident, right? I like to think if you're going to do something, you want to be the best at what you do.
Yeah.
You want to be a 1%er. I want to be a 1%.
You know how hard you work.
Yeah.
You know
Amen.
the reps you put in.
So I'm going to be a 1%er. When I ask that question, a lot of people in the industry that know me, Coach Paul is going to ask that question. Here are the responses I receive. I ask this question thousands of times a year.
What do you want?
What do you want? There's one of 5 ways people are going to respond. Here's what they are. Now, you're asking, someone's going to listen right now. They're processing. What do I want? What do I want in the next 12 months? Here are the responses. Hey, Stephen, what do you want? I don't know. That's like you and I getting in the car. Yo, Stephen, where you want to go? I don't know, Paul, where you want to go? And we sit like idiots in the car in idle, or we drive around in circles. There are people that don't know what they want. And that's how they operate their life or their business.
What do you think that is? What do you think the core behind that is? Everybody could probably say something they wanted, but is it deeper than that? Is it like, okay, listen, I want a family, a good career. Okay. I want, clout. I want something else. I want money. But it goes way deeper than that.
It's always deeper. But on the surface, like you answered a question. So you're what I call like level 3. Okay. So the first way is that they tell me they don't know. You want to know the second way, the most popular?
No.
They tell me what they don't want. Okay. So, hey, what do you want, Stephen? Well, man, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to fail out of this business. I don't want. And I go, hey, the question wasn't what you don't want. The question was what you do want.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of, I'm sure you heard, a lot of NLP work. NLP means neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of work here, man, all about perception, language, anchoring, all this stuff. So the mind can't process the negative. Okay? Stephen, don't think of your car. Whatever you do, bro, don't think of your car. What are you doing right now? You're thinking of your goddamn car. It's just the truth. And it's not our fault because you go and watch the news and the media. It's all negative, man. Most people's minds are wired to focus on what they don't want. That's why you're not hitting it. Okay, that's the second. So you answered, what's the third way? They tell me this. I want to grow my business. I want to increase production, make more money, lose weight, gain muscle. Oh, really? So, Stephen, if you gained a pound of muscle and a pound of body fat, if you increased your sales by $1,000 this year, or you increase your income by $500 a year, you lost a pound, would you be happy? And people tell me no. You know what that's like? That's like telling me today, well, where's this podcast thing at? Where's the address? And you go, it's in Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant. It's pretty big. No, it's in Carolina Park. Carolina Park's pretty big, Stephen. It's on Sandy Brook Lane. I'm driving up and down. You got to give me the exact what? Address. We're going to have this session at my office in New York. Yo, coach, where's the office? It's in Westchester County. Westchester County's pretty big. Oh, my bad. It's in Shrub Oak, New York. It's a hamlet of Upper Westchester in Yorktown and Mayapack. Coach, it's on East Main Street. Yo, coach, I'm driving up and down until I hit this place called Lake Mayapack. 691 East Main Street, Shrub Oak, New York, 10588. You know when they pull up to the building? Where they go. When you pull up to the building, you'll see Northwell Health and Empowered Mastery. That's my partner's building. He owns it. You see the common area. There's Suite 102. We're Suite 101. Enter in. I'll meet you in the lobby. If you drive around to the back of the building, that's my nephew's Taekwondo studio. You're going to go to his martial arts school. So the third way is they tell me, I want more of this, more of this. Here's the fourth way. What do you want? I want to be successful. I want to be happy. How do you measure that? How do you measure happiness? How do you measure success? What do you want? Here's the last way. I want to earn $1 million of personal income. I want to weigh 170 pounds, 5% body fat. I want to close X amount of sales this year. You have to have the exact address in your mental GPS. This is the first thing that I teach people. You'll be amazed that people don't have clarity.
So organizing all of those scatterbrain sort of thoughts and helping direct their minds towards a real goal, something they actually want, is probably the bigger part of the work, isn't it?
Amen.
And that might take more time than what they ever possibly thought.
Yeah.
And that's really it, right? Because they already have what they need inside of them for the most part, right? They need more building, more growing, more reps. But for the most part, they're an able body who can move. They can talk, they can see, they can type, they can do things, they can interact with potential clients, but they just don't have that drive or that energy level or that fire within them to really go after something because they don't believe in what they're doing or they don't really know where the target is. They're just doing.
Yeah.
They're just in like,
So that's a great
production
question.
mindset.
So now we get a goal
Yeah.
because people want to start there. You know what goals are?
Target, right?
They're just byproducts. Because Steve,
Yeah.
when you accomplish a goal, you're a high achiever. What are you saying?
When I accomplish a goal,
Yeah.
I'm like congratulating myself.
Good job.
Like,
And then what are you saying, bro?
what's next?
Goals are temporary and they're also byproducts. You said the word burn. So you know what goals are? This is what I say.
Oh, what are goals?
They're an orgasm. They feel really good when it happens. Can you and I be walking around 24/7 in an orgasmic state? I don't think so, man.
No, we wouldn't.
The relationship I have with my wife is fulfilling. It's ever evolving. In my book, I call that a worthy ideal. It's like our legacy in our business, let's just say, right? It's my why, right?
Right.
The goals never fulfill anybody. They're short-lived, man. They're byproducts, right? Most people I work with, they're never gonna be totally satisfied, right? Once you hit the goal, what's next? It's shallow.
Do you see goals as milestones?
That's right.
Okay.
So I back myself in the goal because most people can't think that big yet.
Yeah.
Right. So then once I look at a 12-month metric, I start analyzing their thoughts and then break their paradigms, their barriers to get them there. But I start triggering something much bigger, which is in my book, I call it a worthy ideal. And you asked me before, what's one of your favorite quotes? Earl Nightingale, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So his definition of success, progressive. What does progressive mean?
Continuous.
Realization. What comes to your mind when you think of realization?
Like getting to the end of it, actually making it happen.
Yeah, man. It's like you have these life experiences that pop in and out, personally, professionally, ahas, realization every day, a new realization of a worthy ideal, right? And so most entrepreneurs, I have to then tap into that or tap into their burn. So let's play a game. Steven, what do you want 12 months from today that you want us to do personally or professionally?
Let's do professionally.
All right, professionally, right? And this is cool because you're declaring it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now you know what are the 5 ways. So now I gave you structure, a template. You either don't know, you tell me what you don't want, you're too general, you have what I call objective because you can't measure objectives like I want to be successful, happy, whatever, or you give me a clarity goal. So give me a clarity goal in 12 months.
Collectively for the team to be on track for 30 million in closed sales by the end of 2027.
All right, cool. So 30 million of closed sales. That's the target. Is it clear?
Yes.
Have you ever done that before?
No.
Does it excite you?
Heck yeah.
Does it scare the shit out of you?
Yeah.
Good. Then that's a worthy goal. Here's a question. Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, who was in the movie The Secret, you should Google it. He passed away, but he also wrote a book called You Were Born Rich. So I coached under him. He was one of my mentors. He told me a goal should excite and scare you at the same time. That's one of my mottos. If it excites you, great. Does it scare you? Awesome. Is it clear? Awesome. Are you physically able to do it?
Yes.
All right. Are you willing to do it?
Yes.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to do something called the 7 times why exercise. This is all live right now. Is this scripted?
No,
this is all live, right? So here's how it goes. There's 1 or 2 things that will happen. Either A, we're going to stack these 7 emotional reasons why that goal is so important to you, or I'm going to get down to Steven's real reason of why this is going to happen. Are you with me? Be prepared, man. You might cry.
Let's do this.
Okay, so it's 30 million, right?
30 million.
Okay, cool. First, I ask you the question, you give me the initial response, and I'm going to stop you, okay? And then I'm going to reframe the question in the form of your original answer. Are you cool with this?
Let's do it.
It's going to sound repetitive, okay? 7 times why. Here we go. So, Steve, why is this target 30 million so important to you?
To be able to support above and beyond a family.
Freeze. Okay. Most people don't answer that right off the bat, but I already know your character. That's why we're friends. Most men are ego driven, which is fine. Now, why is it so important to you? So that's the first answer, to go above and beyond, support a family.
Because I, growing up, didn't have that.
Freeze. Why is it so important to you to provide something you didn't experience as a child?
Because I felt like I was living in lack and that I could have been given more and I would have had a better life compared to folks around me, because I did grow up in a rich kind of area.
Okay. Why is it so important to you to provide your daughter?
Yeah.
Why is it so important for you to provide that so she can experience something you missed out on as a kid?
Because I was always taught that it's not about the money or the things or the lifestyle. It's about the love that you get from your family. However, I didn't really get either. So it's my desire to give my daughter both. And I know that I can do it.
Why is it important to you to provide the love, time, and financial ability to do what you want for your daughter?
Because it's out there and it's possible. If it's possible, I'm going to shoot for it and give her everything that I possibly can.
And why is it important for you to prove to her that it can happen and we're going to make this happen as a family?
I think this might just go back to instinct for a man to provide for his family and his daughter, but also to show her what she should be looking for in a man when she gets to the age of dating and marriage.
And why is that so important for you to set that standard and example for your daughter?
Ultimately, safety, I would say, for her. You know, I don't know who this guy is going to be, but I know if she mirrors what she looks for after me, then when I'm long gone, she'll be taken care of.
When you're what?
Gone.
And what does that define to, Stephen?
Legacy.
Amen.
Damn.
There's 3 things when I
sick.
say you're a different breed of humans.
That was sick.
Most dudes and females, with all due respect, on the surface, it's all fucking ego. Excuse my French. I get a little passionate. I'm like a Christian that curses. I got to stop myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so forgive me, everyone, right? I appreciate
It's all right. This
the
isn't
patience.
PG. We're good.
Yeah. So most of it's on ego. When I get to like 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 1 or 3. Always, I do this exercise. It comes down to family, their higher power, like God giving you gifts. How dare we not live our life to our fullest potential, man, right? Or our legacy. You know what I mean? But like, man, I view like this, right? You and I pass away. We're in heaven together. That's why I don't go in Chris's airplane, by the way, just so you know, for the record.
I might be out of
better
next
have
week.
high amounts of life insurance, you know? Gina would be set. Anyway, God looks at me and you. Yo, Steve, yo, Paul. He looks at the clipboard. Man, I gave you lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
To just max out your life, to be this best version of yourself, to prove to your daughter. And you could have like, placed you in Mount Pleasant and gave you this opportunity with this business. How come you didn't do it?
Right.
And we go,
That's the fear.
oh man, God, can I get a redo? It's not like, like in, the games where you get a new life, you drop back in. That shit don't happen, man.
No, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like you missed out. I believe God gives us unique talents and gifts. Every human has it. But they don't tap into their potential. They're living in the matrix of just conforming to be comfortable and complacent, and safe, and that's not who I want to be, man. I want to be a 1%, not in a arrogant way, a 1% in business, 1% in marriage, 1% in fitness, 1% in what I do. And that's a high standard. That's number 1. I'm going to prove that God has gifted me and I will be the best version of myself while I'm on this life experience. The second one is my life legacy. You said, when I'm gone. You started with family. Family, higher power, or legacy. That's always comes down to it. That's your burning desire. That's your driving force. So is it about the 30 million?
No, it's about what we just talked about, right? Family, legacy, not wasting a second of what God gave us here on earth to achieve and move forward and better ourselves and people around us. Purpose is such a big part of my life. It really is. And that's a lot of the reason why I chose to do this as part of my marketing. That's what this is, right? Because I get to help people in the process. But also, I built my team pretty quickly after I started in real estate. Most agents would rather direct their firepower towards themselves and their production. And while, yes, of course, I want to blow up and kill it, I really just can't sit there like a robot every single day and just me, everything, me. It doesn't fulfill me. I don't get the purpose-driven passion that I would if I...
Purpose-driven passion. You hear those words? Here's the other thing that I get. This is sharing to the marketplace who you are. When you're in the real estate game. Like, if I'm going to do business with somebody, I want to be with somebody that I like, that I trust, they have good values, they're congruent with who I am. This is what this is doing. It's showing people, hey, man, you can trust Steven. He's a family man. He loves his daughter. He's fit. He's a good human. He's got good core values. He's got a higher purpose. He's not just some guy trying to transact and sell you something.
Yeah, anybody could do that.
Shallow. Anyone could do that.
Yeah.
Will there always be a transaction?
Yeah.
Most people got to somehow transact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But let's put purpose and values behind it. We don't have to just be robots.
We're humanizing the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're also bringing in the type of clientele who wants that, expects that, and reciprocates that in a way, right?
You're also attracting the right humans on your team.
That's huge. That's huge.
You know, because if people aren't congruent with your core values, I call a code of honor or standard, they're going to just slowly not be comfortable.
Oh, yeah. That's not just business. That's like friendships. That's family. That's everything. Like your whole
I
circle.
have friends not want to be around me. Why?
Go. Thank you.
You know, because you raise the standard and then all of a sudden people feel less than, insignificant. Not that that's my purpose.
No.
But man, I'm going to stand up on this table and I got 5 people. Me and you are the guys trying to what?
Pull them up.
And what are they trying to do? Trying to pull you down. Because when you're pushing higher standard, people like get uncomfortable. They might like you though. I got friends that loved me back from 1992, 93, you know, like, but back then they called me Paulie. If you call me Paulie, I will throat punch you right now. Paulie died in 1993. I'm no longer Paulie. I'm the way different version of myself. But I love those guys from back then, but I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
And I will pull you up. But if you start pulling me down and lower my standard, I love you, but you got to move on. I'm growing. That's who I want to be around. Yeah. So Gina and I, my wife, we do that, man. We like to be pulling people into our world.
Yeah.
Our faith, our fitness, our family. You're either going to either kind of like, and you know what? There are some people like, I need to loosen up. My partner, Chris, he's fun. He's about adventure. He gets me to relax. I get him focused. There's some friends I have, I like Fun Paul. Fun Paul is going to come out about 2% in the month.
Hopefully you're there for it.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
But I like to be Fun Paul every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that.
They know what I'm talking about.
It's interesting. Just going from that mindset to, so let me back up here. We want to pull each other and everyone around us up.
Amen.
I think people need to really understand. I feel very misunderstood with that. And guilty. I feel guilty. I feel misunderstood when I want to level up. You can almost feel controlling within your environment as well, or your business or your family. It's a really tough dynamic to navigate. You have to become a much better communicator. You have to actually listen a little bit more than you would, although you know what you need to do, but maybe there's different ways in doing it. How do you navigate that sort of dynamic where you're fast tracking? You know what you need to do. You're locked in, and just folks around you aren't understanding.
I have to do my best, and Gina pulls this out of me. Gina's such a good finder. Sometimes I'm just like this, You know what I mean? She helps me do this.
It's a good partnership.
It's really great partnership. I'm so grateful. Gina just learns. She's like, yeah, you know this movie Inside Out? You do?
Yeah, of course. I got a daughter.
All right. Kiana's, my daughter's 19, but that first
Yeah.
one came out, I don't know how many years ago, right? So there's anger.
Yeah.
That's me. So work real hard not to be anger. And the joy, Gina's joy. You know, like Gina learns
That's
how to
cool.
just be joy and love on everyone and see things from a different perspective, different lens. It's just really powerful. I'm working on it. But here's my question. I want to let people know, hey, man, if I come across like this, it's because I love you. Like if you're talking about a team or a friend or whatever, when you push so hard or you have high standards and you and I come across a little different or aggressive or people don't get us, what I've learned is
Direct.
yeah, I want to let you know that what's my intention. My intention means if I'm pouring into you is because I care about you and you mean something to me, and let's help each other get better. Like my grandmaster in the martial arts calls it il shin, being better every day. I just want to be a better human every day. I do. And the people I want to be around, which is important to me, you know this, right?
Yeah.
It's the 5 people you surround yourself with, right?
You're the average.
So I want to make sure the people I love are leveling up.
Right.
Level up in your marriage, level up in your faith, level up in your
Amen.
parenthood, level up in your business, level up in your fitness.
Circle.
Man, I let people know. I'm like, hey, man, I love you all. And I have great friends that we've adopted here like family.
Yeah.
And I want to be the leader that helps everyone level up, man.
Yeah.
I really do. And here's what I will tell you right now. When you win, Gina and I are not the people that poo-poo on you.
No.
We do not. We do not poo-poo on it. There's no jealousy. There's no envy. There's none of that. One of my other mentors, T. Harv Eker, he wrote a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's a great book, right? I'm with him in Thailand. And his whole philosophy is if whatever you see that you want, you better bless it. If I see someone with a great marriage, I'm blessing it. I walk up, Russ, Kathy. I see this old couple in the gym, Russ and Kathy at the gym. They're like 80 years old, and they're working out together. I'm like,
it's awesome.
I bless that. You know what I mean? I'm blessing people that have raised successful humans in society because I'm at that stage.
Right.
I never spoke to you. I saw you working out. You saw me working out, and we approached each other because I respected your work ethic and your fitness and your discipline. I'm not sitting there going like, oh, who does he think he is?
Yeah.
I walk up like, man, you look great.
Paul, you brought up a great point, and I want to address this because there's a lot of guys out there I know struggle with this. So when you see that, right?
Mhm.
Like if you have a tendency to see somebody who's killing it, doing better than you, driving a really nice car, something, right? And you're like, how do you switch your mindset? I've done it already. So I've already figured this out. Like I love when I see successful people. I see the value immediately because I've trained my mind to do that. I'm not competing. I'm not in a competition mode. I'm not going to like walk by them like stern face. I'm going to be like,
Good for you.
I want them to feel my energy of excitement and congratulations. So what kind of tidbits maybe do you have for some folks that are listening that struggle with that competition mindset and don't know how to kind of 180 to where we are?
I just created a habit of complimenting and congratulating them or asking. You know what I mean? Being humble.
Yeah.
Man, I struggled with delegation. I struggled with ego. I fought a lot of demons and still do every day to be a better human, right? And so when I see any level of success, I bless it. I tell them good job. And I say, any advice there? How'd you do it? Any advice there?
What do you do in your head? How do you recognize it and then immediately flip it? Is that something that you kind of teach?
Yeah. Well, I tell people, here's the thing. Any negative energy is bad vibrational frequency.
It's hurting yourself.
You're literally hurting yourself.
You're hurting yourself.
So if you talk crap about somebody or talk bad behind their back, that really comes down to jealousy and envy.
Those things are killing you.
How do I reframe? Napoleon Hill wrote another book called Outwitting the Devil.
No.
It was great. He never published it while he was alive.
Huh.
His wife didn't want him to do it. When he died, the Napoleon Hill Foundation asked Mrs. Hill, do you mind if we publish this book? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. So I would listen to it instead of reading it on audio, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. Here's how to answer your question, reframe this. When I hear the voice talking like envy, jealousy, fear, and I feel that, I make believe that's the devil stealing my happiness, stealing my joy, and wanting to corrupt and poison me, right?
It's awesome.
And that's what I believe. What I do is I sincerely, it takes a lot of work because I felt like, man, I'm better than that guy. How'd he get that?
Right.
I'm competitive. We're competitive. But I had to compete to beat my inner voices.
You can be competitive and not have to tear someone down or have to be jealous of them.
Because if they did it, you can do it. They're not a cyborg.
Mindset.
They're not from an alien from outer space.
Yeah.
So if they can do it, that gives social proof that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I believe. Thank you for raising the standard.
Yeah. Right.
You and I at one point talked about a Lamborghini. It's not as much of a driving force, but yeah, man, I definitely want to get a Lambo. We should set a goal. We're both going to get a Lambo within a certain timeline, right? Liability versus assets, rich dad, poor dad. But we could justify it, right?
At some point,
we could justify it. I tell my son, I buy buildings. I don't need to buy cars. When I die, you'll probably buy the Lambo from the properties. To answer that question, I had to flip the script. And, you know, I'm like, man, Steven, thank you for raising the standard. Thank you for leveling up.
Yeah.
You see the house, you see the car, you see the businesses, you see the marriage, you see the kids, you see the fitness. Bless it.
And if you look at it that way in the gym, in the business world, in church, you see a family where you're like, man, you just see something that you want, that you feel like you haven't worked hard enough to get. That's the progression of that mindset. It's not an immediate, I'm jealous or whatever feeling that is. Labeling it as the devil talking is a good way to start opposing it. Because right now you're allowing it to happen and you're making it live. It lives in you. You're not opposing it, labeling it, tagging it. There's a lot of tagging I do as a business owner with different programs and systems, but tagging that thought immediately. Everybody probably already thought of an environment where this happens to them, right? So think about where that is. And next time you're there, tag that thought as the devil or bad or whatever you want. And then what?
Here's my motto. Catch it, scratch it, erase, replace.
Scratch it.
Catch it. So what does that mean? Catch the what? Thought.
So tag.
I call it voices. We all got at least two voices in our head.
Voices.
I name all my voices. High level. I got easy target Paul, who was bullied at 7 years old. Second best Paul that never won a national championship. I always fell short, right? And I got wise ass Paul.
Yeah,
right?
I know that guy.
The short little guy that just had to overcompensate because he was skinny, bullied, you know, all that bullshit, right?
You graduated.
I graduated. I got perfect Paul now. God's perfect. We're byproducts of God.
That's something you strive for.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Perfect Paul's a dude with a shirt off walking outside, you know, physique competitor.
Edging his lawn.
No, I don't edge the lawn anymore. I have to delegate.
You outsource that?
Yeah, I have to. It doesn't fill my heart. But no longer second best, man. I want to be the 1%er. And you got Coach Paul.
Yeah.
Right? So those three voices are now more dominant inside me. So when I say catch it, you got to catch the thought, catch the voice. Who's that speaking? Is that the devil? Is that second best Paul? Second best Paul? Man, that kid's 12, 13 years old, 90 pounds soaking wet. If you start talking to me, you have zero credibility. I'm going to punch a hole through your chest. You don't control me no more, second best Paul. You don't control me no more. Oh, wise ass Paul, he died in 1992. That 17-year-old punk ain't living in my subconscious no more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you catch it. You catch the thought. You scratch it, right? So those who are watching or listening, you know what I'm talking about. You scratch that CD. You can't play that in my car. I'm pissed off. So scratch it. Scratch that thought. Scratch that belief. Scratch that story. Erase, replace. Get rid of it. Replace it with something different. So it's like an empowering belief, an empowering statement, something that shifts your behavior or your thought process. And you called it out tagging, right? Is that easy? No, man. That's a habit. Conscious, mindful awareness.
Mindfulness. That's it right there. You got to know it's coming in.
Scratch it, erase, replace, rinse, repeat.
Catch, scratch, erase, replace. I love that. That's awesome. And that erase, replace, the strength within that has to be greater than the thought that's coming in or the voice that's coming in.
Having children is the driving force for us to succeed and accomplish all our goals and dreams in life. Having children would hold you back from achieving success in all areas of my life. I teach grown men this. I take your paralyzing statement and say it in the stupidest voice ever. They're like, what? It's literally a neurolinguistic programming technique.
I love that.
Like, having children would hold me back from achieving success in all areas of my life. And now we're laughing at it. Most men and women don't laugh at that voice. They wake up with the voice. They go to bed with the voice. They allow the voice to dominate and they listen to it. In my book, I call it FAD, fear, anxiety, doubt. That's what hold us all back. Fear, anxiety, and doubt, right? Make the voice sound ridiculous. You ever see Harry Potter, the movie Harry Potter?
Yeah.
All right, so my kids we're Harry Potter geeks. I'm a Harry Potter geek. So there's a scene, and one of the professors in the movie was helping the kids overcome their fear. So imagine there's this cupboard, right? This magical cupboard, and they got their wands out. And when the cupboard opens up, their worst fear comes out. And he taught all these kids with their wand, ridiculosis. Ridiculosis, which sounds like what?
Ridiculous?
Ridiculous. The kids are all scared. And all of a sudden, the cupboard opens up and the kid, big spider comes out. This big ass spider. He's so scared. Say the spell, poof. The spider got roller skates on its legs. It starts losing its balance and falls. And all the kids what?
Laugh.
They laughed. And now the fear becomes a joke.
That's sort of NLP.
Yes. One of my things I teach my clients is let's take the thought, become aware, know what you want, clarity.
Right.
Let's become mindful, take inventory. What is Steven's thoughts around 30 million?
What will my thoughts be?
Yeah, so we do a line. Like let's identify all the negative thoughts, and we start taking inventory of all the thoughts. Most are going to have a lot of paralyzing thoughts around that outcome. They start thinking about all the obstacles, the challenges. I can't do this because of this. My team, this, and whatever, right? So what I got to do is identify what you want, become mindful and aware of your thoughts. And then once they start thinking of those thoughts, they go, tell me about your voices. You know, what Stevens do you have inside your mind? And they start thinking about that, right? And they're like, yeah, well, let me ask you a question. If that 7-year-old boy comes walking out here, my easy target, Paul, a kid that was bullied, short, sucked at sports, got his ass kicked by this kid, Tommy Gonzalez, every day. That kid comes in, he goes, you can never do $30 million a year. You're a loser. We laugh. But if you visualize a little kid talking to you, would you accept what that kid's saying?
No.
You would discredit it. That's an NLP. You discredit, you minimize, you shrink the thought. What I've come up, and this is Coach Paul exclusive, I came up with the voice exercise. No other coach. This is my stuff. I call the voice exercises. Let's name. Give me 3 negative voices, 3 positive voices. Let's name each of the negative. Tell me an experience, your age, what happened. Easy target, Paul, 7 years old, bullied, get his ass kicked, suck at sports, no self-confidence. Second best, Paul. Always won New York, New Jersey, Connecticut state championships. I'd go to nationals. I'd always fall short. I win second and third, silver, bronze, never a national championship. You know, wise ass Paul. 16, 17 years old, skinny as hell. Because when I fought, I had to fight thin weight because I was so damn short. I was 120 soaking wet in high school, dropping down to 110 pounds. All my boys in high school looked like you, man. They were jacked. And know what they would say to me? Yo, Paul, take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. To embarrass me in front of girls because I was so self-conscious of my physique. So what I do? I'd start fights with everyone because I know I could fight. I could say it again. I'll kick you right in your head. It was crazy. I don't like that version of myself. So now at 51 years old, you know what I say? Yo, Mike, take off your shirt. People are like, why you always got your shirt off? Because I never had my shirt off when I was a kid. I worked my ass off to get to look like this. Yeah. My shirt's going to be off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to laugh at my voice.
Yeah.
And the breakthrough for me when I was 40, I won a national championship in cross-country mountain biking.
That's awesome.
You know, 40 years old. I won a USA mountain bike national championship medal. Took me 40 years to control my voice. I have a whole story on that. 40 years to control my voices. I laugh at the second best Paul.
That's amazing, man. That's really good stuff. And that, I feel like that's just a preview of the things that you talk about with your mentees. What do you call them? I mean, clients obviously, but just like,
yeah, mostly clients. As I'm getting older, I'm also engaging with younger entrepreneurs, which I'm really blessed and grateful for. I have a wide variety. Now I've been working with a lot of clients for 5-10 years. Here's what I'm most proud about. One of my clients flew me to Boston yesterday. He's a financial advisor. I've been coaching for a couple of years, and he won something called President's Council Award. It's just all based on production, revenue, and all this stuff. He was getting recognized at his agency and his firm. We've been working at this for a couple of years, but without compromising his wife, his 2 daughters, and his fitness. Because I told him, when people engage in me, I'm like, if all you care about is money and production, don't hire me. Right? Will it happen? Yeah, I'm pretty confident we're going to earn some money here. Mm-hmm. My whole thing is multidimensional. Mm-hmm. Right? So you need to be a good husband. You need to be a good dad. You got to be fit. That's multidimensional. That's my focus. If you don't want that, don't hire me. Hire a business coach. Working with this guy, best shape of his life, takes the summers off, travels with his 2 daughters, goes, Coach, I'm getting recognized Thursday. What are the odds that you come to Boston in and out one day? I'm like, Jan, I got about 6 or 7 clients Thursday, but I love you. And I want to make it happen because you're a big part of this. I'm me, Coach. $1,000 ticket to fly me.
That's awesome.
Right? I left yesterday, Thursday, 6 a.m. flight up to Boston, 6 p.m. flight back down to Charleston. I coach a handful of agents, advisors in that agency. The top 2 producers in that firm, my clients.
It's amazing.
You know, both those guys make about $1 million a year. But both of them, one guy, 3 kids, the other guy, 2 kids, fit, good dads, good husbands, good integrity. They did not compromise their integrity with business. Most people in that industry are product pushers. My guys are not. Mm-hmm. I was proud to be there because I met his wife for the first time, met his daughters for the first time, taking pictures, hugging everyone. You know what that feels like to be a coach that made an impact on a person's life, change the trajectory of his family, his kids.
Goes way beyond the award.
Beyond, man, and beyond what they pay me.
Yeah.
Plus, their production jump. If I told you what he started off making when he hired me to what he is.
Incredible. What's the name of your company?
Empowered Master Company. Now, I'm retired from the martial art industry. My first company was United Martial Arts Centers, and I had a small chain of martial arts schools up in New York. And I'm out of the business. Sold the businesses. I never finished college, so I went right into entrepreneurship. But I spent about $800,000 in personal development. I'm still being coached right now. I have coaches that I hire for me. I have to walk that walk.
Yeah.
Right. So I still invest in myself at 51 years old. Coach I hired gets in a quarter what I usually get in a year. He goes, "You're not charging enough money, Coach Paul." I go, "Thank you." I retired from the martial art industry. I've had this empowered mastery business for a while. It was always a passion project, but COVID inspired me to move down south and live out this amazing life. Most of my coaching is over the phone, unless I got to dress up in a big boy suit and do a keynote presentation or a live workshop or seminar, or if I do a Zoom. Very rarely I do Zooms because I got entrepreneur ADD. I got to move around. This is tough for me to sit right without moving. You can move it. But for the most part, yeah. My book is called You Have Infinite Power. It's on Audible. If you're a listener, it's on audible.com. You can buy it on Amazon. Not that you make millions of dollars from a book. Honestly, it's just credibility. It's a big brochure on steroids.
Mm-hmm. Shows people that you know what you're talking about.
You know what's amazing about a book? I refer to Napoleon Hill a lot. That was the first book that was put in my hand at 21 years old. It changed my life. A mentor of mine that was a millionaire, and nothing was working on my martial art businesses.
Which one was it? Think and Grow Rich?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
It's like the personal development Bible.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill was hired by Andrew Carnegie, or Andrew Carnegie, however you want to pronounce it. And he gave him access to his network. 20 years, Napoleon Hill interviewed all the successful people of that era, which then came about, Think and Grow Rich, a 20-year project of interviewing the most successful humans of that generation. So you got over 20 years of unbelievable information and knowledge that you can read on your own. Someone's work can be in our hands in moments. And a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't read. They don't listen to audiobooks. They don't invest in themselves. They rather scroll through that phone and watch trash media TV and put garbage in their mind.
Kills me.
We even followed any agenda.
We didn't follow any agenda, but this is good stuff. This is because we are what we consume, what you're putting in your ears, in your eyes, in your mouth. You become a product of what you consume. I know you, Paul, and if you were to coach someone and they were to consume your wealth of knowledge, discipline, frameworks, that they'd be better off. I'm happy to know you. I'm lucky to know you. I'm lucky that you're a neighbor. And I hope that I get to just randomly go by your house and see you with your shirt off.
Every day. Some of my neighbors that don't know what I do, like, what the hell did this guy do? He's walking around with no shirt on all day long. When I flew up to Boston yesterday, my client, he's like, Coach, you can't come to the country club with no shirt on.
That's awesome.
I'll be in a suit, brother. I promise. I'll be on my best behavior.
So if Paul coaches you, he'll definitely have his shirt on. How do they get in touch with you?
Most of my clients are in the LinkedIn world. That's who I cater to.
Mm-hmm.
The Facebook stuff is you get to see more of my personal life. I might post stuff about Gina and the kids. And
family going out.
Lacrosse dad. I'm a lacrosse dad, theater dad too.
In Charleston.
I love where we live.
And
I'm so proud of where we live.
Same.
And so that's a little bit more personal. I'm on Instagram, but those are my three platforms is LinkedIn and then Facebook and then Instagram. So
we'll put all that in the comments and any of the short forms that we put out there. So we'll make sure that people can get in touch with you. And just so you guys know, Paul and I work very hard on physical and mental health and financial health. We're not bragging. We're not here trying to brag. We're not saying we were born this way or we are built different. I hate when people say that. Anybody can get to this level and way beyond, because there are people who are way beyond this level. And we just strive to be better every single day, right?
That's right.
And we hang out with a lot of men and women who are a lot like us. I'm not diminishing women in any way. I'm just saying there's a big group of men who form this bond of brotherhood around us. And like, we might be in different circles here and there, but there's so many. So if you ever feel like right now, potentially me and Paul just talking and broing out and exchanging, frameworks of life and talking about all these things that maybe you feel are way up here, we approach every situation with humility. Reach out to one of us. We're not going to be like, oh, we're too good for you, or we don't have time for you. No, come in, reach out. This goes way beyond business.
It's about paying
anything else. At the end of the day, when you're 6 feet under, what did you leave behind, right? For us, it's come in. We welcome you with open arms to circles that we roll in. We're in Mount Pleasant. A text or a message on Instagram so that you feel like we're approachable. It's a big thing to me to make sure that people feel our humility, understand it, and don't misconstrue our high performance as a block or,
Well, listen, I was bullied as a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
I sucked growing up, second best Paul. Right. And then I never finished college.
I got the same story.
And in high school, I got called in with my dad by the counselor and the principal. They're like, Mr. Melella, I don't know if Paul's going to be successful. I don't think college is his path. You might want to think, no offense, like military, this, that, the other thing. I know you're a Marine. Thank you for your service. They were just like degrading me, And I'm not, again, degrading the military or teachers or whatever. I thought I was going to be a teacher. I'm like, maybe I'll be a gym teacher. I love martial. I was a teacher, right? But even when I opened my business, like, you're not going to be successful. Why open up a martial arts school? So long story short, you know what I want to say to those teachers that looked at me, downgraded to me, told my dad I wasn't going to amount to anything? I respect you for being a teacher. It's awesome that you're pointing to kids. But, these kids don't conform to a box. You and I, before we started, we were like, dude, I'm unemployable. I cannot work for anyone.
I can't.
I also didn't conform to the box. Not poo-pooing at all. But you know what I want to say? Mr. Teacher, how much money you make a year? How much?
How's your family dynamic?
And I was the kid that you said I wasn't going to do it. So anyone listening that ever got counted out, anyone that thought that they weren't going to do it, and you were the underdog, and you were someone that they said that you couldn't amount to something, that was fuel.
Motivation.
That was fuel early on. Before I had kids, that was my fuel. I'm going to show you what I can do. And then it evolved. I grew out of the Peter Pan syndrome. I rose up to be a king, build my kingdom, and then my kids and my family became my fuel for my burning desire, my legacy, my connection to Christ. Those are all my fuels, my burning desire. That's my burn. In the beginning, it was to prove to people that counted me out. No one just got dropped off at Success Mountain. Our definition of success is different. I could compare myself to, my highest paid client right now is making over $8 million a year. You know when he met me, how much he was making? $175,000. He's an attorney. He came to one event with me. He played for Notre Dame football. He was the kicker. Awesome guy from Chicago. Well, what do you want? He goes, well, I'm working for this firm right now. I don't want to be stuck here. Well, what do you want, Mike? He goes, I think I want to open up my own firm. Well, if you stay in the firm, what's the potential? Maybe once I'm making 175, maybe I'll make a couple hundred, become partner. What can you do down here? I open up my own firm. All right, cool. When planted the seed, within a year, opened up his own firm. We analyzed his trajectory of what he's doing. He's like, oh, what'd you make this year? Oh, last year, coach, I was 175 over my firm. I did about 400. Awesome. Year 3. Mike, how'd you do? Well, last year I did 400. How'd you do this year? 8.5 million. I'm like, that's revenue for the whole firm, right, Mike? You and your partners? No, coach, that's my personal income. I'm like, damn, Mike, you better hire me for the rest of the life. Because if you didn't come to my paradigm breakthrough experience and you didn't flip that script, make that decision, plant that seed, you wouldn't, 3 years later, 175 to 8. I told all my financial advisor clients, man, I've taken you to 500, a million, million to 2 million, true to 3, but drop the mic because my boy, he just totally blew all you guys away. One decision. And same, he felt like me, like he was counted out. He wouldn't be enough. We all feel that way. So anyone listening, anything is possible. If you believe, you got to find your burn, find your why, have clarity. Let's go.
That's it. Paul, you're the man, dude. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you.
It was fun, right? We didn't follow any agenda.
No. We should have had the tea. We should have done the tea thing at the end.
But it was good.
Man,
it was fun. All right? Amen.